Oh man, I'm glad that we're gonna finish off this day today, because that means we're done with it. I played a lot of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's great. It's great. If you're doubting, let me tell you this. If one thing that bothered you about XCOM was how much everything was up to random chance, don't worry. This time you get a lot more control over that. It's still not, like, 100%, but it's a lot more puzzly than the other one. And you get to do cool shit. You get to dash at two people, then jump with a super jump, smash them on the head, and then land somewhere else. And set them up for a shot. Like, the fact that your actions are, you can attack, you can move, and you can special. And you can do any of those in any order, in any turn. So you can dash into someone and then finish them off, or, you know, try and get them down with the gun and then use your movement for something else. It's great! And this team jump system is fantastic too, especially since you can get a lot of combos and all that. Fun little challenges. Ah, it's nice. It's nice. Why am I constantly going to the W? This is a bit more direct. It's a little bit more, are you never curious about my scars? I bet that's bothering you. Because it is kind of a defining feature. Like, once you take the scars away, a lot of Bryce's... Like, the reason it changes a lot is its head detailing. With Sebastian, it's the bits of color that defines his face. And the eye is usually drawn to the face. So, it's only natural that when the face is the highest detail area of a given entity and something changes, we'll notice it. And similar with the scar, which is only on one side. It's not a good scar, though. It's a very lame scar. I fell down. Wait, I don't even know how this is spelled. Scar. What is lit taken? Just go! Ah, man, I still want that sound clip. It's not, like, you know... Although it is on his muzzle, so it is probably obvious. It's not obvious on the front. Like, it's one of those details you notice more from the side. The thing that gets me about Bryce's scar is he only talks about the scar on his muzzle. I don't think he ever brings up the chest scar himself, which is done by Miles, and not explicitly stated as being the cause of it. It's kind of weird that it scars up like that to begin with. It's true though. Like, the scar adds something. The problem is, it might not add what you want it to. The thing with scars is, someone might think it's cool, another person might see it as a sign of aggression, and go to aggression themselves. Like, there's a reason you're not supposed to pull your fucking gun until you're going to shoot someone. It's because if you pull out the gun, and you point it at someone, you are escalating violence, and you are the instigator of it. And that's why I say, don't do it, because they might not be wanting to shoot anyone. You know, like... You're supposed to resolve conflict, not get someone in a coffin. I do appreciate that that's something that people are becoming aware of as cops. Like, it's not your job. It's not your job to shoot people. It's your job to resolve conflict. Preferably in the most diplomatic way possible. Which is why British police officers don't carry guns. Conventionally, at least. They don't need them. It's not what they're for. They're not the military. Like, you have to imagine the reason cops carry that many ornaments in the first place is they started off as guards. They started off as general peacekeepers. It's only later that we really started splitting them off in different directions. And it really started being, okay, these are just the people that keep the peace and help out with things. And these are the people that are going to fight our wars. Like, there was a certain degree of overlap in olden days. Sufficient enough, at least, that you could be a guard and you could become a soldier. And that would be like, you know, you'd have some pull there. Because it was basically the same situation. Also, back then, people had a lot more to lose, so they generally fought more. Nowadays, people aren't just going to start shooting people. They have a reason. Like, they're either going to do it or they're not going to do it. Or you're the one to instigate it. Which is a weird way to look at it. It's a bit fatalistic, but it's how I look at it. Like, either someone was planning to do it and couldn't be dissuaded, was never planning to do it and wanted to be dissuaded, or they're nervous, and it was all nerves, all the way down. There was never a reason. The gun was just there to calm them, but ultimately it did nothing. And that's the saddest story, is when something could have been prevented. And that's why I don't pull your gun, because you could have prevented something. Like, even if it resorts to shooting, had you pulled your gun sooner, it could have gotten worse. It's also one of the reasons why a lot of people are like, civilians shouldn't have guns, because you aren't trained in conflict resolution. If you're standing opposite of a terrorist, you're not going to resolve this in a way that the police is going to be satisfied with. They could have asked him questions, they could have asked him to stand down, you shot him. Good job. Also, you shot the one man that could vouch that you were not the terrorist. I'm just saying, if you're going to shoot the one person who can confirm your story as to how this went down, I don't know, but they'll throw you in jail just because, you know, you shot someone. Once you start shooting people, I'm sort of the mentality. Once you kill someone, you go past a certain threshold point, because the killing of a human being is huge. It's a massive point. If you have any mind, it's going to blow you up. And it's going to be a changing point in your life. You know, similar to like starting with something like bulimia or alcoholism. Like, the first step is always, should I do this? And then it's like, it's so easy, I'll do it anyway. You know? Like, it's the human condition, is we bloat up things we've never tried before. Admittedly, with me, it's always the second try. The first try goes great, and then the second try blows up in my face. Because I didn't learn enough. I love it. It's great. Yeah, and he just avoids it. Like, why? Like, I understand you don't want redundancy, but why not have some redundancy? There's nothing wrong with having two characters explain the exact same story. In fact, it's kind of human. Like, you could just say, okay, I already know that story, and then Bryce moves on. Like, he could have just said, it was during a police investigation. You know, keep it simple. Also, to think that dragons kind of have to kill each other with mortal combat instead of guns, like, there's something to be said, because even if you use a sword, there's something to it. But imagine that the only way you as a police officer can subdue a criminal is to destroy him with your hands and feet and teeth. Like, that would do something to you. That's not a fun way to deal with problems. That's also with that way with fighting. Like, once you get past your first fight, you're like, okay, I'll live. I'll be fine. Maybe you'll be scared and never want to do it again. Or maybe you're like, well, that was that. I might do it again, and I'll be better prepared. You know? It's the moment where you realize where you stand in that situation and how you can handle it. One quick tip, if you ever get in a fight, you bleed a lot more than you think you do. The adrenaline is keeping your blood from clotting, so you might want to step down at some point before you bleed out. Just a quick warning. Man, this, I love it when the Doom videos are more suited for advertisers than this one. Oh, I haven't finished the previous one anyway. This is a really weird context, because the other could technically refer to the scar he referred to or not. Like, contextually speaking, it's a bit more muddled. Yeah, like, look at how small this story is. The story is, I went out to play, I fell down a cave, I got fucked, good luck. Like, it's not really a story worth telling is the thing that gets me about this. This is not a story that's exciting, you know? What's the story? Well, I messed up because I'm a little shit kid. Also, this is a really good picture. Like, holy crap! You got this really good blurred foreground stuff. You got the little splatters of blood because he's clearly bleeding. It's not much. It's just a couple of modest splatters on the ground. I'm surprised there's not... Like, they could have done a little bit of blood here, you know, to emphasize where he came down from. I don't like his detailing. Like, for one, his body looks a lot more hind leg bipedal in this. Like, he's got... His hands look more defined. Maybe because they're closer together. Something about this form just feels a little bit more bipedal. And also his detailing is so close to what he is today. Which, again, might imply that dragons just grow up very quickly. Like, just look at these. Like, this is... I just love that horn shine. That's so pretty! Look at how pretty that is! You got these little dimples for all the horns. It's also a drastically different color, because it's a lot more metallic here. Here it feels a little bit more, keratin. But yeah, like, his armor plating looks super weird. His spike tail, I don't think that one comes up too much. Looks, wait, like, I guess they grow up quickly, but he still looks kind of young. Like, there's still this sense of youth to him. Also, the fact that he's gotten 2 scars, both from the similar types of injuries, that's not really how scars work. Scars can form under any number of reasons. It can be freak accidents, it can just be not grow properly, scars can vanish over time or lessen. Which sort of happened, I guess. I want to know more about scar formation, though. It's an interesting thing to talk about. Similar to earthquakes, formations are fun. But yeah, like, good picture. Like, really good, strong perspective. Like, he feels small compared to this huge blurred rock in the foreground. It really feels like he's down there. Not too far, but he's still down there. And his body shape, you know, it's kind of scrunched up. Gives the sense of weakness. Sense of, I can't go up there. Like, he can't! He's quadruple. He's a quadruped. Quadrupeds can't jump. They say white man can't jump. Dude, if you walk on 4 legs, you can't jump high well? I think. It depends on how you do it. You can't use, like, a pole stick and vault up places. You also can't climb very well. Unless you're a goat. But he's not a goat. He doesn't have those magic hooves that somehow stick to stone and crave the mineral. Look at that beautiful shine in his eye. Don't know where it's coming from, though. Because he's in a cave, and it's kind of implied it's dark. I'm surprised they found him. Really surprised about that one. Is it Yochi or Yochi? I don't know which C belongs there. Yochi. Yeah, it's with a CH. I know it. Yong. That sounds so stupid. Like, imagine if the word for being young is like boy. So you'd have a boy. That's essentially what that comes down to. Why does he put them in quotation marks? Like, why does he put in quotation marks? It really is adventuring. Like, you're going out there, you're having fun. Adventure doesn't have to involve going, you know... Like, you don't have to go to the other side of a country to have an adventure. You can have an adventure in your own town. The only definition of adventure is you had some excitement. You went to a place and you were like, oh! And I feel Bryce is kind of overestimating that. Not to mention, I think just about every kid did this. Like, they went out there and were like, oh! I like climbing, no jumping. I just like walking on rocks. I like goading it up. Not climbing. I don't have that kind of upper body strength yet. But, I would like to live near a rocky beach. Just jump around on rocks. Eventually slip and fall and break my neck. It'll be great! And then someone will say, it was murder! And then they're like, but why? And they're like, I don't know. I saw it in one of them Midsummer shows. Oh man. I hate it when mysteries revolve around, but I knew this thing, and it's like, but we were never told that. You literally just solve the mystery by pulling something out of your ass. You want to know what a good mystery does? You know all the clues, and you can figure it out if you're smart, or keep track of things. And there's no ass pulling. Don't pull evidence out of your ass, for the audience at least. Like, sure, it's kind of fun if you pull... That's the fun with Sherlock Holmes, is he deduced things, and you were always kind of in on it. Like, there wasn't, like, the new Sherlock, where he just pulls shit out of his ass, apparently. That kind of annoys me. And it's even worse, like, apparently the writing is just shit. I don't even know. Everyone's like, but there's a secret no. It's just... It was a great video. It was a great video. But a good mystery doesn't revolve around that. A good mystery is you know what's going on, and you can sort of deduce it if you keep track of all the details. And sometimes you can have stuff in the background, and the detective just never comments on it, but it's there. And if you're smart, you notice it. Man, they got a really diverse biosphere, don't they? They have forests, they have plains and hills, they have beaches, and they have mountains. Like, what? That's an incredibly diverse ecosystem, especially since it's kind of implied they have rocky beaches and sandy beaches, which is like, wow, you have a lot of ecosystems right next door. The only thing you're missing is anything of particular heat or cold. Which is surprising, considering that this is back in the day, and back in the day things were hotter. Especially this far back in the day. When the Earth is still cooling down. Well, not cooling down as much as the atmosphere was just complete fucking mess, and every bit of heat just was trapped in weird... Or was that... I don't know. I don't know why if it was hotter back then, and why it was hotter back then. Could have been anything, really. Could have been the release of carbon dioxide because of the formation of life. Who knows? I don't know. Could have been the cycle of the sun. Could have been one guy who just didn't turn down his heater. Like a dick. You know, that really would help, being like the commissioner, the chief of police, is that you know everything. You've been everywhere. If someone's lost in a cave, you're like, I know where that is. Like, man, that's a unique skill set. Like, that alone is worth hiring as an officer, because he's aware of his surroundings. And of course they have caves too. Man, I'm not making progress. I need to shut up and focus. I've been playing that Doomwat. Man, it's good! I don't like that it has boss fights. Here's the thing. Every single Doom boss fight tends to boil down to either A, there is a lot of stuff, or B, there's one really big thing. And neither of them are very interesting as a boss fight. There's one which is a time challenge, which is actually kind of fresh. Like, that's new. That's hip, that's new, that's modern, that's fresh. That's exciting. But besides that, they're not good boss fights. The actual encounters are better. I'm so glad their Revenants don't have homing missiles. Like, wow! Revenants are so much more fun enemies when they don't have homing rockets. Because that's like the big thing that makes them so annoying to deal with. It's great! It's great! Yeah! He had a fucking phone. He could, like, his thing to consider is he called his friends. That's really hard to do when people don't have mobile phones. Like, think about this. If you could only call someone when they're at home, and there's no reason to consistently be at home besides television, like, good luck. Good luck calling them and getting a short-term appointment set up. With kids, at least. Kids are gonna be out there. Like, they probably were already, like, waiting for him at some other place. Who knows? When did he call them? Who answers their phone at school? Or before school? But no, who makes a phone call before school like that? Like, what is your what is the organizational route here? Did he call before school? In which case his kids are like, why the heck are you calling about this now? You could have waited until after. But if he called after his own school before they were out, that would have been an incredibly awkward conversation. Like, I've been in, like, a French mine long, long, long ago. And I can tell you this much. Caves are weird and spooky. Ooh, they're spooky. Like, once you've been in a cave, without, like, the thematic lighting, you're like, wow, I can't believe people worked in these conditions. They still do, by the way. But caves are neat. I like caves. Mostly because you don't usually find bugs in... Well, you do find bugs in caves. But they're not known for bugs. It's not where mosquitoes are likely to hang out. Probably because it would be too chilly. Although they would benefit from the consistent temperatures. I don't know. I don't live near a cave, so I couldn't tell you. Well, it probably does have other entrances and exits. It's just not accessible to things made out of meat. They're made for water. See? I can't imagine dying alone in a cave. That is horrifying. Like, you're alone in the dark. You cannot see. Your light source will run out before you die. And you are in the dark. It is cold. It is presumably wet, because that's usually what caves are. And no one is coming to look for you or can find you. That's spooky. Dying in a mine is worse. Because there's, you know, people are probably looking for you, but you've got no guarantees. Like, those people in that coal mine, they were in a bad place. In a bad, bad place. Eating coal. Can you imagine? Whew. Oh, forgot the closing quotation marks. So the reason you're trying to pressurize the wound is, one, it actually allows the majority of your blood plates to congeal better because they're not flowing as quickly. And secondly, you're not going to bleed out as bad. Bleeding out is bad, kids. Always pressurize your wounds. Like, I want to ask something about the climbing. How can he see? Isn't it, like, super dark in most caves? Also, if you're... I know what this one would say. If you're climbing, remember the 3-point rule. Always keep 3 points of contact. Move one limb at a time. If you try to use any more, you're gonna fall. Like a dumbass. Always remember the 3-point rule. Man, that's gotta be terrible. The thing is, Wasn't he already gone for at least a few hours before? Like, eh? Yeah, entering with guide is an important thing. Like, don't! Just don't, man! Life's too short. Like, if you make it out, it's a great experience, but if you die down there, it's gonna be a horrifying death. And you're just gonna sit there going, man, I'm a freaking idiot. It's not fun to die. Consistently reminded of the fact that this is completely your fault. This could have been avoided with very little effort. Like, it's not... That's not, like, if you're alive to realize that you're gonna die a terrible death because you couldn't wait 5 minutes, that's a terrible thing to realize. Ugh. Like, at that point, if you get saved, you're like, welp, time to make this trauma permanent. I've already forgot what souvenir. Oh, it's souvenir. What a reason to build wooden ships. Ugh. Ah, my arm is acting up so much because I've been writing a lot. It's not stuff you guys are going to be seeing, but ugh. Just stretch. I haven't drawn a lot lately, and it makes me sad. Meh. What a weird story for Bryce. Like, he grew up in a town, explored all of it, and then he became chief, and he's still in the same town! Like, at that point, I'd be bored with the city. Would I? Would I? I wouldn't know. Where do you end up anyway? Pad X. Isn't that like Bryce's house? What kind of name is Pad X? Oh, it's nighttime. That's what it is. Like, what kind of house is this, though? It's implied to be some sort of apartment, but it has, like, a non-apartment window. It has bricks. It has a fireplace. I thought it was implied to be an apartment. Like, what kind of one room is this? What kind of entry room is this? That's not what I'm used to. Most houses enter indirectly into the hallway. Yeah, in most cases, people tend to enter into the hallway. You don't enter in, like, the kitchen or the living room directly. Why isn't Bryce being sassy? Why isn't he being like, oh, you want to ask me questions? One thing I like about Undertale, by the way, is Undertale has all these name things. This game has a lot of names you might potentially pick for yourself. Like, Bryce is not an uncommon name, Sebastian is not an uncommon name. Damien, I guess. But the game never acknowledges it if you have the same name. Which would have been cool. It would have been kind of funny if you have the same name as someone, and the first time you meet, you're like, wait, you share a name with me? What? That would have been fun. Like, if you have the same name as someone, and they introduce themselves later, they're like, my name is your name. And they're like, what? Your name is my name? That's my name too. Like, what? And then you later skip that introduction because you already know their name. It would have been a lot of entropy to consider, but it's also kind of funny. It's worth the effort. It's heart. That's heart and polish right there. That's the kind of stuff that's going to make people go, ooh, ooh, that's so cool. This couch is big enough for the both of us. What? I like how the ending is entirely determined by you sleeping on top of Bryce. Wow, that's kind of lame. That is super lame. Oh, cool. Oh, I like this. Follow me then. Implying that originally, is it okay for you to sleep directly against my... Like, you have to consider that. Wow, I like how Bryce is like, I don't need a bed. I could just sleep on a pile of rocks and I'd be fine. Yeah, I guess Bryce would have originally have had a bedroom instead of just sleeping on the ground like a weirdo. I like how this comes up this late. Like, you've already been to his house and presumably slept with him twice, or at least once. Like, what? Like, why didn't you ask this then? Like, you were in his house and you were with him there, and you're like, I'm not gonna ask about the fact that you were... I understand, like, okay, you're drunk, but even then, it's kind of like, wouldn't you have looked for the bed yourself? Or at least ask if Bryce minded. I don't know. I like how you offer to sleep on the fucking... What kind of offer is that? No, I'll sleep on the floor. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's some text missing here and some context they were originally going to put in. No, wait, it's my estate. No. There you go. Why is Bryce bringing this up? Like, the man who literally just said that he's fine sleeping on the floor is like, wasn't that uncomfortable for you? What? You don't even know what uncomfort is, Bryce. Mr. Stairman. Good night, baby boy. Ah, that's so cute. It's so cute. Like, just think about this for a moment. Like, wouldn't there be like an after scene where you like wake up and you're like, man, he has a morning problem. Or at least you'd be like, my back is just destroyed. I slept on a wooden floor. My back is dead. Yeah, like a lot of these third dates just seem to end. Like with Lorm, there's a logical reason for you to have the pizza date, or at least the walk home. And here, there's a good reason for you to like have more. And with Katsuharu, you never get the... Like a lot of these dates feel cut short. What a weird way to put it. Why would you say goodbye? Anyway, that's all that. Next time in video games, or I guess translation of video games, who are we gonna pick? Let's do Remy. I don't like Remy, so let's do Remy for this one. At least I don't like his third date. I think it's a bit too much. From that Persona song. It's like that part.